Thanks so much for sticking with us. Proposition 19 passed in California November 3rd. The measure gives homeowners over the age of 55 more opportunities to move to a replacement home while keeping their prior home's lower tax bill. But there's also a downside to this measure that many folks may not know of. The new law that takes effect February 16th, so next Tuesday, means that property values will be reassessed to market value when it's transferred from parent to children and from grandparents to grandchildren. Joining us from the California Board of Equalization is former California State Senator Ted Gaines. Ted, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
You bet, Ty. Thank you.
So, Ted, the issue here is that this new law repeals a number of measures from the 1980s and 1990s. What are those measures, and what effect will that have on families in California today after February 16th?
Well, bottom line, there's going to be tens of thousands of Californians on an annual basis that are going to suffer tax increases. The parent-child deduction is very narrow, so that if a home is passed on to a child or a grandchild for that matter, the only protection is that if you lived in the home. So if you decide to rent that home out, that's going to be taxed at a new appraised value. It's also true for second homes. So if you own a cabin, you're going to suffer the same tax increase. Maybe that cabin would be passed on to the children, but as a result of Prop 19, it's going to be reappraised and taxes will go up dramatically. I'm very concerned about farmers trying to pass on farmland from generation to generation. They're going to see tax increases too if we don't get some fixes made.
And what comes to mind for me, Mr. Gaines, are families with children with special needs, having property passed to them as an income source. Could they be affected as well?
Absolutely. So upon the passing of the parent, inheritance is arranged often for disabled children. Now they're going to see that piece of property reappraised unless that child can move into the home. Often they can't because of their disabilities. So it often was used as a source of income. That home could be rented out and provide income for that disabled child.
And so again, this is taking effect February 16th, so next Tuesday. But there are a number of tax associations working to reverse elements of that measure that is now California state law. Is there any hope for those aspects of the law being reversed, or is that just a pipe dream?
Well, I think it's going to be a challenge, but I'm hoping that the legislature will hear from their constituents, because 50 to 60,000 families will be impacted annually as a result of these tax increases from Prop 19. Some people are scurrying and trying to very quickly change title of property, and they can do so by the signature of a deed or through their estate attorney. They really ought to be communicating with him and getting it signed over prior to the deadline on the 16th.
It sounds like if you're in this situation, you really do need to talk to an attorney before you make any final decisions, because it gets complicated when you're talking about state laws. Former Senator Ted Gaines, thank you so much for taking the time this morning talking about an issue that a lot of folks may not know.